The following is a chapter from my latest book, Triumph of the Light, Story of Humanity's Enslavement and Impending Liberation. I am posting it here, as it outlines what will likely be the most important event to occur within humanity's evolution to date. And there are indications that it may be happening at some point in the very near future. It's been called the event, and it involves a quantum shift of consciousness that will affect all of us in profound ways we can only now imagine. If you have already read and heard about the event, let this be a summary and reminder for you. If not, it can serve as an overview for you to begin more research on your own. Being aware of the event will prepare us to understand what is occurring when it happens, and it will also help us to benefit from it as much as possible. We will also be in a better position to assist others who may be confused and even frightened when it occurs. The event, Chapter 16. By now it's abundantly clear that the ascension process is not simply an inner shift we're each making into a higher vibration as individuals. It definitely is this, and each of us needs to attend to whatever that might mean on a personal level for us. But ascension also includes a process all of us are going through together as a collective group. And this process, as we've seen, is both vast and multi-layered, with gradual events occurring on different dimensions. And yet some say this process may soon erupt into a single powerful event that will become both the end of a long, long era in human history, and also a new beginning. David Wilcock and author Gordon Asher Davidson have used the term the Day of Revelation to describe this event. Cobra has simply called it the event, a term that has caught on with a great many people. Much of what you'll read in this chapter about the event may sound fantastical to you, too strange and perhaps too good to be true. This is understandable. But, as always, I encourage you to simply take the information in and see if it resonates with you on a level deeper than your mind. Just accepting the possibility of what is being described here about the event can help prepare you for it, should it indeed occur. What is the event? Both Wilcock and Cobra tell us that the event will be the sudden beginning of the collective ascension process. It will initially manifest with a galactic pulse, a solar event that is said to occur every 26,000 years or so. This pulse will release blindingly bright light, arriving directly from the central sun, which in the past has triggered a mass ascension, a quantum leap in spiritual evolution, on Earth each time it's occurred. As an avid scholar of ancient texts, Wilcock claims that this phenomenon is described in the Bible and in Zoroastrian, Hindu, Greek and Roman texts, and that 35 ancient cultures hid the science of this cycle in their mythologies. He adds that there is now scientific data and also insider testimony that support this idea of a solar pulse event. According to both Wilcock and Cobra, when the galactic pulse happens, it will start a process of transforming matter, energy, consciousness and biological life as we know it. The incoming energies from the pulse will begin to flow through the energy field of all humans as a palpable wave of love. Everyone will have their own individual experience of healing, release of the past, and inner transformation. But also, there will be a general rise in consciousness of all humanity on the planet. Directly after the event, Cobra explains that for the first few hours after the solar event, the resistance movement will take over all satellite and communication stations in the world, through which we will be able to receive information about what is occurring. Disclosure about the secret space programs and the crimes of the cabal will be broadcasted on TV channels. He further claims that intel packages of disclosure have already been downloaded into the computers of major newspaper agencies around the world. Videos have also been prepared. In addition, messages will appear as pop-ups on countless computers. Mass arrests will be taking place soon. According to a number of sources, part of what we'll be seeing very soon after the event is a series of mass arrests of the cabal, who will be taken into custody and held until trials can take place. Within this group will be members from both political parties in the U.S. Congress. We will be assured that they will be prevented from ever having access to positions of power again. Gordon Davidson adds that, in the meantime, the executive, judicial and military will be in charge, although some superior court and other justices will be removed. Global currency reset. Once the mass arrests have been accomplished, another momentous occurrence reportedly will take place, a reset of our global financial system. There is a group known as the Eastern Alliance which will put this in place. This group is also referred to as the Chinese Elders, ancient Chinese families who, through their benevolence and wisdom, have been planning the financial reset for quite a while, and have been waiting for the right timing to put it in motion. It is said that the new financial system will include the provisions of an act named GESARA, an acronym for Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. This act is designed, among other things, to reset the planet and humanity on a foundation of sustainable governance and benefit everyone on the planet through a global currency reset, the GCR. It will put the entire global economy back on the gold standard. When implemented, it will affect all 209 sovereign nations in the world. Suppressed technologies released. Natural abundance will be restored to everyone on the planet. As this reset happens, free energy technologies and products will also gradually be released to the public, and everyone will eventually have access to natural, renewable sources of energy. Other important technologies developed in the secret space programs which have been suppressed by the cabal will also be released. All this will ensure that the natural abundance of this planet will be distributed to everybody, and our ecosystems will eventually be restored. In time, as the Earth recalibrates back to its originally created frequency, organic food and clean water will be easily available to all. Included in the new technologies will be those which provide healing on all levels. Humanity will finally have the opportunity for true healing, both physical and psychological. In particular, there will apparently be healing chambers that will be available to the general public. We will still go through an aging process, but it will be a much easier experience. Inner healing will be easier after the event. Cobra continues to assure us that, with the removal of the archons from the inner planes, their interference with human relationships will disappear. Many of the old conflicts and dramas which now exist, especially those between men and women, will diminish and unconditional love will prevail. War will be obsolete. However, even once the event has happened, we will all initially still be involved in our individual ascension process, releasing our old third-dimensional habit patterns. Although the event will give us a collective boost in vibration, reportedly only a small group will make their full ascension into the fifth dimension at that time. Most people will continue on with their ascension process. Nonetheless, it will be a whole lot easier. After the event, there will be a lot of energy support from the galactic central sun to help us shift into 5D consciousness. The event will also make it much easier to develop psychic abilities, such as telepathy and clairvoyance. The light forces will give guidance and instructions on these tools natural to 5D consciousness. First contact will happen soon. We are told that at some point when enough people on the planet are able to comfortably accept the reality of ETs, beings within the various galactic civilizations who have assisted us in the liberation process will reveal themselves in an event known as First Contact. Over time, humanity will eventually be ready to become co-partners in the Galactic Confederation and be able to connect with other sovereign races throughout the galaxy. Not everyone will be ascending. However, as may be obvious as we consider the whole of humanity at this point, not everyone will be making the shift toward 5D consciousness at the time of the event. The anticipated solar event will require a shift which will prove to be too much for those people who are not ready to ascend at this time. If they haven't already left the planet by the time of the event, they will leave at the time it occurs or soon thereafter. At death, They will be taken to another part of the universe still functioning in the third dimension where they can continue their soul evolution. It's just the beginning. Although abrupt in some ways, the event is not going to be a sudden miraculous shift that changes everything overnight. It is simply the beginning of a gradual process which will eventually result in a much higher consciousness for humanity as a whole, and a better physical, psychological and spiritual existence for everybody. In essence, it will be a transition from a 3D 4D world to a 4D 5D one. At some point, all of humanity will eventually be functioning in 5D consciousness. Although it will take a while for everyone to make this shift, the event will be the initial boost to get the process in gear and make it a lot easier for us to make the shift. When will the event happen? The new Earth is already here. Of course, everyone wants to know when the event is going to happen. No one speaking about it can give a concrete answer, as so much is still unfolding, and the ever-present factor of free will makes it difficult to predict anything for certain. Although presenting a somewhat different scenario from that of Cobra for the Day of Revelation, Gordon Asher Davidson concurs with him that all is being very carefully planned and orchestrated by the line alliances, so that the shift will be universal, seamless, and easily accepted by people across the world. He states that the timing will be determined by a large number of factors, including energetic astrological alignments, final preparation and readiness of new systems to be put into place, and the openness and demand of humanity for deep and true transformation in the world. Also, it seems clear that the event cannot occur until the light forces have been absolutely victorious, until all the dark ET-run forces are completely eliminated from our planet. It's also necessary that the grid circling the Earth keeping us in quarantine be completely dismantled. As we've seen, this is happening fairly rapidly at this point. Also, according to Cobra, liberation includes the elimination of the beings known as the Archons, existing on the inner planes, who have been controlling humanity through their manipulation of the karmic process and the implants and other AI technology they have employed to impede humanity's spiritual evolution. One of Wilcox's insiders said to him, "The event you expected to happen in 2012 will more likely occur in 2017. Corey Good states that his intel indicates it will more likely occur sometime between 2018 and 2023. Even if it takes that long, it is definitely an event worth waiting for. Ascension into the fifth dimension is what we are all here for. A few more years will whiz past us, just as the last few years have. And, who knows? The event could happen tomorrow. Do you feel prepared for it?" Editor's note. I put a link to Vidya's book, Triumph of the Light, down in the description box below this video.